Hi everyone and welcome to this new tutorial. Today we're looking at hi-hat patterns. Two objectives. The first one is to find the fastest way to create a new pattern on Logic Pro. And the second one is to make it less robotic and give more dynamic to it. Before starting, please help me reach out 300 subscribers. That'd be a good start for me. Alright, let's get started. We have a really simple loop and a kick and snare. So the fastest way for me is the following. Right click, create empty MIDI region, and then extend it. And here now on the piano roll, that's where we can really gain time. If you press T, we have that menu that appears. And I'm just scrolling down, and you can see the last tool is called the brush tool, and there's the letter B next to it. All you have to do is to press T and B. And now you can just hold click and draw your full pattern, as you can see. If you want to go back to the previous tool, you just have to press T and T. And that's what we've got so far. That's a good beginning, but now we want to add some hi-hat rolls. The fastest way for me is to select the scissor tool. To select it, just press T and I. And here I'm just doing some cuts. All you have to do is to click in the middle of your MIDI note. And now we have standard hi-hat patterns with some rolls. Second part of this video, how to humanize your hi-hat patterns. First way to do it, very simple, select all your notes and then functions, MIDI transform, humanize. And then just click operate only, and it basically changes slightly the velocity of my notes as well as placing them slightly off grid. And another very similar way to do it is to click on Functions, MIDI Transform, Random Velocity. And here we have this menu that appears. You can see that there's a max value and a minimum value set to 127 and 40. I'm not going to change just yet these values, but I will after so you can hear the difference. As you can hear, we have a big gap between the quietest note and the loudest ones. So I want to make that a bit smoother. So instead of the minimum value set to 40, I change it to 80. But if you wanted to exaggerate more the difference between the loudest and the quietest note, then you could set the minimum value to 1 and the loudest to 127. Anyway, let's hear how it sounds like with our method number 2. And I'm going to show you another way to do it from scratch. So very similar, right click, create an empty MIDI region. Remember the shortcut, press T and B to select the brush tool. And here I'm just going to draw the very few first notes. T and T to go back to our main tool. And now I'm just selecting the note in the middle and I'm reducing the velocity. We are going to do a copy and paste, so select all your notes by pressing Command A and then Command C to copy and then Command V until you have a 4-bar pattern. But we can do better, so we're going to select all our notes and again use the humanize function. So now we have all the notes in the middle, meaning all the offbeats that are played quieter than the one that fall on a beat. And on top of that, we used the humanize function to randomly select notes and make them slightly quieter or louder. Same as before, we can add some hi-hat rolls by clicking T and I to select the scissor tool. And that will be the very last tip for this video. Let's try to do a build-up with our roll. So click on this MIDI automation button and this menu will appear. And now, very simple, select the notes that you want to change and you can just draw a slope, as you can see. And we can exaggerate this build-up even more. And that's it. Let's now hear the two different versions.